Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé, let's watch. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. As I always say, everything that I say in these reaction videos, it's completely speculative based on very little information. So just keep that in mind. Let's watch.
Entiendo más o menos.
Sí.
So.
Translation.
Sí, tengo. Yeah.
Pienso lo mismo, Cory. Pienso que lo que tuvimos fue real. Mi relación con Cory fue muy bonita. Muy bonita, en realidad.
All right, so if we're just looking at this interaction, independent of Evelin, this is a good breakup scene that we don't often see, that the two of them are saying, yeah, what we had was real. It's over now. He's apologizing for ghosting. And she's saying, Jenny is saying, oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, it was real. And thanks for coming out here to have closure for the relationship. But what I'm confused about is why he wouldn't tell Evelin that he's going to meet up with Jenny. I think he hasn't told Evelin, which is obvious. I'm guessing it's going to really hurt her feelings that he deceived. He said he was going out to look for a job and instead drove across Ecuador to meet up with Jenny, which, why wouldn't you tell Evelin that you're going to do that?
It wasn't actually just like a one night thing. Jenny was more serious than what I led on to believe.
How serious? Like, what the do you mean? A few months? Like,
yeah, we were actually.
So to remind us, she broke up with him and had said she wanted to end the relationship with him a number of times, a number of ways. And according to the two of them, the relationship was over. She has said a number of different things, Evelin, about that time. She said once she just needed space. She's like, I just said I wanted space. And then later she said, okay, sure, I might have suggested that we break up. And then another time she said something like, oh yeah, okay, yes, I did break up with you. Now, they were still legally married. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, if you break up with someone and the government doesn't know you're broken up, I would say you're broken up. Who cares about the government? That's just paperwork, okay? So you're broken up. But some people really religiously or something or morally or, I don't know, value-wise, just hold that piece of paper that the government doesn't know yet that you're broke. If you could in that moment just shoot off an email and say, by the way, we're divorced, then I'm guessing a lot of people would do that, but you can't do that. There's usually a waiting period and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, which is probably for the best because marriages, there's some legal things that have to be worked out. But anyway, so they were done. She broke up with him. He left. They thought they were never going to see each other again. He meets another woman and he went out with her for a few months. Now, he lied to Evelin initially by saying that it was just a very brief relationship, giving her the impression that it was just like a day or two or a week or something. Now he's revealing it was more serious and it was for 3 months. Okay, so Evelin has every right to be hurt and angry about the deception, when he came back and said it was just for a day when it was for 3 months. That is a lie. It's unfair to do that. It obviously might make Evelin hurt to feel like, wow, pretty quickly you fell in love with someone else, Now, I will say that people will do that sometimes. He will say, yeah, it was a significant relationship, but I never got over Evelin. I always wanted to be with Evelin. As soon as I saw her again, I wanted to be with her. And I had no problem leaving and getting back to Evelin. So, well, what I'm worried about is that Evelin will turn this into some kind of indictment on him that he cheated again, because they've gone over this incident many times. And I keep waiting because according to him, they were broken up. According to her, she said many things, but she's also said, yes, we were broken up. Anyway, let's see what she does.
In a relationship, yeah, she was my girlfriend.
I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, it's actually not an uncommon physiological reaction when hearing about infidelity. It we have a natural disgust response. You know, when something is disgusting to us, that is one of our primary emotions, one of our main emotions. And when something socially is disgusting to us, we might have an urge or might even vomit. So to imagine your spouse, your husband, having a relationship with someone else, even if you were broken up at the time, can provoke that disgusting response, which she is having, which, you know, she's totally entitled to be hurt, to be disgusted, to be upset about the lying. But I'm worried about how this conversation is going to go. I think she also is looking for any excuse to break up with him. So I can see a future where maybe a few episodes from now, she's like, because of that thing, I'm done with him. And she has been very explicit about her ambivalence about being in a relationship with him. She's been extremely honest about the fact that she is very unsure about being with him and particularly being married to him.
Why just now you tell me about it? Because you have denied it the whole time. What the What I knew about this Jenny before was there was a girl that lived in Peru and that he met up with for 4 days only, and that was it.
Right. It's a lie. Now, he could say, well, at the time, I just didn't feel like I wanted to tell you the truth because I came back and I didn't know if we were going to be together. I don't know. I just didn't want to bother you with it. It doesn't justify the lie, but it's not like one of those huge lies. It's sort of like, culturally speaking, I'll just say for me, given the deception, it's a lie. He said 4 days when it was 3 months. That's a lie, straight up. I guess the mistake he made was by answering the question or by giving her any details. He could have completely said, in my value world, look, I had a relationship with someone while I was in Peru after you broke up with me, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the relationship. I don't want to talk about how long it was. I don't want to talk about what happened. It's in the past. I want to be with you. You can say that, and I'm guessing that's why he lied about it, because he didn't want to tell her the full extent. And I tell this to people often, is before lying, take a second and think of another way you can respond. Because usually what people do is like, truth or lie, truth or lie, truth or lie. Ooh, lie is better, and then they lie. There are many other options. One option is to not answer the question, to tell someone, I don't want to answer that question. For the following reasons. One, you broke up with me. Two, I think you're going to freak out if I tell you the details of this. And three, it's frankly none of your business because we were broken up. And if you got together with someone after you broke up with me, that's technically none of my business. I mean, I don't know. I suppose we could tell each other these things, but I don't know. I just want to keep that sort of stuff private. That's better. It's better to say that than to lie, right? Anyway. Let's see what happens.
Ask. So like, dude, like, are you having sex with this woman? And he's like, oh no, like I tried it once, but I couldn't get it up.
Wow, that's interesting. So pretty elaborate lie. It wasn't just that he said it was for 4 days. It, lots of responses to questions. I'm guessing a wiser response is, honey, I don't want to talk about it. I don't think there's any way for us to talk about this without it becoming a problem. Remember, you broke up with me, and let's just let it be known that I dated someone, but it's over and I don't want to talk about it. Instead, he responded and lied about the answers. The other thing, of course, is he could have just told the truth. Yeah, we had sex. I was with someone for a few months. There's an STI question there, of course, that she would be concerned about, which he should be honest. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds like there was some elaborateness to the lie.
And stupid me thought, like, maybe he is in love with me, that he cannot even work sexually for another woman because he's so into me. It wasn't the truth.
Right. That's interesting. That probably was his motivation, or at least partially, or I don't know, unknown about his motivation. But anyway, that could have been part of his motivation of like, other women mean nothing to me. It's interesting to think about all the lying and the discussions of lying. I don't know if it's just today. All the lie. They should call this show like 90-Day Lie or something. And it's often the dudes too. There's often a lot of dude lying on this show, which I have to say is makes me feel bad about my gender. Because you got Summit lying about being married and catfishing. You've got, of course, now we have him lying. Corey, we have Steven lying. Big Ed lying. There's all these lies. Colt. Just a lot of lies happening on the show.
You told me, Evelyn, I'm only surfing and thinking about you. I want to be back to you. That's what you were telling me. Like, does she know those things?
I did still have feelings for you, Evelyn. I didn't.
Right. I don't doubt that he did think about her the whole time, think about Evelyn the whole time he was with Jenny. I absolutely, I think we can all imagine how that was true, given how much Corey really seems to be into Evelyn, for sure. And this is the destructive qualities of lying. When you lie, then everything gets thrown into question, right?
I'm not going to buy that.
I'm just coming clean to you about
Like, imagine if I went and got all the around and like, oh, I was so sad and depressed, Corey. This was the cure. You, like, never.
Now, technically, after they broke up and she, while being sad about the breakup, also dated other people, in my values would be totally ethical and fine. But for her, she's saying if either one of us were sad and also dating after our breakup, then there's something wrong with us, which I don't agree with. Now, maybe for Evelyn, she can't relate. Maybe for her, she's like, well, if you break up with someone, you need time to recover, but not everyone is like that.
Women are going to want you and love you all the time. Like, who the do you think you are? Like some kind of Brad Pitt?
No, I was just dating somebody when you decided to break up with me.
All right. Yeah. Now she's upset, and she has every right to be angry and hurt right now because she's learning about a pretty extensive lie. It's not that he dated someone while after broken up. It's that he lied about it afterwards. He didn't have to say anything, right? But anyway, she's laying into him. Who do you think you are? Some kind of Brad Pitt? And he's like, no, you broke up with me and I dated someone. Yeah, exactly.
And that was it.
Can you be more gross? Since you're going to party, that's what it seems like to me.
You literally told me it's okay for us to see other people. You said that.
Interesting, which of course is implied when you break up with someone. But if that was explicitly told to him, that doesn't justify the lie later. It's still lying. It's still morally wrong to deceive. But it does provide even more context for the legality, so to speak, of him dating someone after they broke up.
You wanted me.
It's okay. What I don't like is the lies. So what the do you want from me? You want me to be like, oh, thank you for coming back? You're not gonna get that from me.
Yeah, so I would imagine that if Evelyn loved him and wanted to be with him and was not ambivalent, as she has been saying this entire time, their entire relationship, she's been saying, I don't know if I want to be with you. I definitely am pretty sure I don't want to be married to anyone. So I'm guessing that if she didn't have that ambivalence, she would be hurt and she would be upset, but she wouldn't be talking the way she is. There's a lot of contempt to her voice, which often kicks in. And we've seen a lot of that this whole season, allowing her sisters to essentially, just flat out bully him with that soup and not intervene. I mean, just all y'all out there, okay? So imagine my wife. I have siblings who hate my wife, which is totally not true, but just imagine that happening. They are upset at my wife for dating someone after I broke up with her, by the way. But anyway, which has never happened, but my siblings, and then they say they're going to essentially poison my wife. I mean, not poison, but make her eat something that they know she's going to consider to be disgusting. And I just let it happen. I can't get over that. I mean, that was notable. So there seems to be a lot of contempt, and whatever sort of shred of goodwill or motivation she has to be in the relationship, given the lies, which she has every right to be upset about. I wonder if she'll be able to recover from that. I don't know. We'll find out.
So what happened with that person?
I cut ties.
How did you cut ties?
I just
What
said,
did you say?
look, I'm in love with Evelyn, and you know, what we had is what we had. I'm getting married, and that's it. Like, you know, that's it.
Am I supposed to believe you? I don't believe you. Like how?
Right. That's the destructive power of lying. When you lie to Evelyn, how is she supposed to trust anything you say? Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Do I know that what you're saying right now is true? You're not the man I met years and years and years ago. I don't even know who the you are anymore. It's like a whole new person, you know.
Yeah, it's normal to have this reaction when you think about your partner being with someone else. It really messes with your image of them. To imagine it in your mind of you were cuddling with the person, you were having sex with them, you were enjoying it, you were looking into their eyes, you were kissing and making out with that. You know, it really screws with your image of the other person. Now, for some people, polyamorous people, for example, it's totally fine for them. I mean, it's not a human thing. It's maybe a monogamously oriented person thing. Anyway, so it's really messing with her image of him. She's like, I don't even know who you are. You know, I feel like there's something different about you. Now, I wouldn't recommend that she put him down and say he's a horrible person. But anyway, now we have to remind ourselves that she cheated on him while they were going out. So he had the transgression that he committed is that he lied about the extent of the relationship. The fact that he had the relationship is totally okay, according to a lot of people. Now, there's different values around the world, given that they were still legally married, according to the government. But she broke up with him, and now we're learning she literally said, we can both see other people. So the transgression is he lied about it, which is wrong, but she has actually cheated. Not that excuses his lie, but you would wonder if maybe she would say, well, I've actually cheated on you and lied about it. So, yeah, maybe we've both made some mistakes. I don't know. To some extent, I'll just tell you, as a citizen watching, not as a therapist, but as a citizen watching this relationship, I just wonder about their compatibility. It seems like she doesn't really want to be with anyone, really. But he wants, a family and kids. She doesn't really want kids. So it seems like there's got to be someone else out there that would be more compatible for Corey. But what do I know? People fall in love with who they fall in love with.
A horrible one.
I know that I can treat you right. I do know this. I can. And this is me coming forwards right now, putting everything on the table. And I really hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I'm so sorry. I am.
Okay, good. So we've seen other people in this position that Corey's in, and they don't apologize. He's saying, I'm sorry, I am. I'm sorry that what's he sorry for? He should be sorry that he lied. Let's see if he can really. So there are various different elements of a very good apology. One that is convincing and one that is healthy to the one giving the apology. A major element is really understanding what you did wrong and how it affected the other person, and knowing that and communicating that to the other person, because it highlights for yourself what went wrong with your behavior so that you can identify the precursors in the future. You really need to understand, like, this is what I did wrong and this is why it hurt you, and I totally understand that. And so this is just a part of growing up. Children emerge, into the world. They don't understand. They have to learn through experience of, when I lie to someone, it hurts their feelings. Okay, and you have to rinse and repeat that many times in children before they can really grasp it. And sometimes we have to relearn some of these lessons later in life. The other thing is you have to really communicate to the other person so that they're like, oh, you do understand why I'm hurt. And you are now giving me some ideas as how you're going to manage that moving forward. That's part of the building of trust. Let's see if he can really identify that in this apology.
If you think that I'm going to be open arms to you after everything that you have done, you're crazy. I will really appreciate if you take all your stuff and leave.
Okay. So she's breaking up with him. I mean, if ever there's a breakup statement, like, yeah, I would appreciate it if you took all your stuff and you left. And given her ambivalence, given the fact that she's broken up with him before, given her treatment of him this season, you know, it's not surprising. And is this the final thing? or one, are they going to go back to the way things were, which it's always teetering on this? Or two, is there going to be some major transformation in Evelin to reduce or eliminate her ambivalence about being in a relationship with him? Let's find out together.
Seriously?
Yes, seriously. Corey up. He up big time. He did exactly what he knew it was gonna hurt me. He lied to me during months. He created more lies to cover other lies. I cannot take this anymore, so I need a divorce.
Yeah, it makes total sense to me. Given how little of a connection I think she felt to Corey, given the amount of ambivalence, given the fact that I think she, you know, when they would ask her about even getting married, she's like, well, I did it because we needed to because of the visa. And yeah, maybe this is a good thing for both of them, particularly for Corey, so he can find someone that actually loves him as much as he loves them. All right, well, that is it for that episode. I want to thank everyone who has liked these videos and subscribed and hit the bell and commented below. It's super cool of you. I look on every single video to see if people have clicked the like button, kind of as a way of gauging, is this what people want me to do? And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.